Welcome back to the channel and to another Academy match report as Chelsea remain unbeaten in the UEFA Youth League. 5 games without a defeat now as we have drawn 1-1, coming from behind against an incredibly talented Barcelona side. We are going to go through all the key moments, the standout players and a full breakdown of today's match. Before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to the channel for all the latest and greatest Chelsea content across the first team, the Academy, Loan Watch. If it's got anything to do with Chelsea, we cover it on this channel, so make sure to subscribe if you're not already. But getting straight into it, and we will do so in the first half. A quick rundown as Chelsea started with big intensity. We started very aggressively and I think we were on top, on the front foot for the entirety of the first half. The standout player for me, I think the majority of our danger came from the right side. The majority of our chances created came from the right-hand side, with Genesis Antwi at right back and Jesse Derry on the right-hand side of midfield. I thought Genesis Antwi in the first half was superb. Of all the chances that we did create, and the majority of them were half chances, I think one, Ampa had a good chance with a header, which Genesis Antwi set up. Shin Mayuka had a really good chance on his left foot, really good shot from the edge of the box. Wouldn't quite class it as a full chance, I'd still say it was a half chance. However, Genesis Antwi was at the root of everything created by Chelsea. I thought in the first half, they isolated the fullback really well, not just the link-up play between Derry and Antwi, but also knowing when to leave the other one on his own, completely isolated with that left back and nobody else within 30-40 yards of them. And every single time Antwi and or Derry got the better of his other man. I thought Derry was fantastic today. We'll get onto him a little bit more because his second half performance, I thought he was unplayable. First half he was quality, second half he was unplayable, and I'd say Jesse Derry gets my man of the match performance, or gets my man of the match award for his performance today. But the first half, I think we really frustrated Barcelona. We made it really difficult. Anybody who watched the Barcelona women against Chelsea women last week will have seen that tactic of the Barcelona keeper standing on the ball, waiting for one of the Chelsea players to break formation, waiting for one of those Chelsea players to bite. But we were incredibly disciplined. We were very good. Didn't do that at all. Held our shape really well. Frustrated Barcelona when they were in possession, and when we were in possession, I think we created more half chances. I was going to say more clear-cut chances, which I think over the balance of the game, probably we just edged it. But I think in the first half, there weren't too many clear-cut chances to speak of, but those that did happen, you know, were generated by Chelsea. And I think we did dominate that first half with the majority of our dominance coming down the right-hand side. Reggie Walsh got booked early, I think only 5 minutes in, with a big tackle. I mean, it set the tone. It was aggressive. It was intense, but it did kind of leave him in a little bit of a precarious situation. He made another challenge in the second half, and Tayo Subaloy, the other player that got booked in the first half, and then kind of was a little bit more out the game in the second half because, you know, he wasn't able to make any challenges. I think he, as well as Reggie, did make another strong challenge. It was kind of last chance saloon for a couple of those players. Reggie Walsh, however, was the one that provided the assist for Ibrahim Rabbaj, linking up really nicely on the left-hand side, set up by Derry again. Excellent ball to get the move started from Jesse Derry, squeezing it through the gap. He was really bright on both the left and the right. He was on the left in the second half when we scored the equaliser. But yeah, Reggie Walsh setting up slide rule ball into the middle for Ibrahim Rabbaj, who was on the pitch just 3 minutes, I believe, before he scored. Came on for Mardi Nicole Yazuli. Him and Holland came on for Mardi Nicole Yazuli and Ampa within 4 minutes. Brilliant move, turned it around. Rabbaj gets, if I'm not mistaken, his first UEFA Youth League goal. I mean, we've all seen the stats of what he did at 16, you know, 40 goals, 60 assists in 40 games or something ridiculous like that. I can't remember the exact numbers. But Ibrahim Rabbaj, obviously another bright spark for Chelsea today. Fantastic for him to get his first UEFA Youth League goal. And while he wasn't, you know, I don't think I could fairly put him in one of the standout performers, you know, over the course of 90 minutes. I think he definitely had a big impact when he came on. Obviously scored the equaliser and then almost won it. A fantastic challenge from Ibrahim Rabbaj in the 92nd minute. And then maybe could have squared it, went for goal. Unfortunately, keeper did manage to make the save, and it was a fairly tame effort. But I'm lying, the keeper didn't make the save. It was cleared off the line by the defender. Yeah, I think in terms of top performers today, Obviously, I've mentioned Jesse Derry, Genesis Antwi. I think Freddy Bernal, I think, was very, very good as well. And I think Shin Mayuka, although he was, I think, frustrated, I think he showed good strength. Had a couple of good chances in the first half chances, and a really, really good shot on his left in the first half, particularly, which went just over. But if it had gone in, it would have been an unbelievable goal. I think Ollie Harrison played well, keeping things ticking over in the middle. And the other one was Landon Emanalo. I think while it was the majority of Chelsea's creativity came from our right-hand side in the first half with Antwi and Derry, when Derry moved over to that left-hand side in the second half, he was linking up very well with Landon Emanalo. I think you can tell that Emanalo appreciated having a player of Derry's quality in front of him, because it just means he can play that $1 million ball. He can try that pass that maybe Atto Amper isn't quite on the same wavelength. Not to take anything away from Atto Amper, because I think he was fairly dangerous, particularly in the first half. A couple of really nice bursts of pace, really nice couple of chances created. But it's just with him, his decision making in the final third, when to shoot, when to cross. I think Derry just has the edge on him in that aspect. But they were I think, the kind of standout players for me today. Freddy Bernal, obviously mentioned there, made a couple of really good saves. I think in the first half he didn't have much to do, and he just made kind of a couple of half saves you would expect him to make, but still dealt with very, very well. And then second half, a really early save for Bernal. It was a speculative shot, much like Richarlison against Raya the other day, but Freddy Bernal did well to tip it over. And then there was nothing he could have done from the goal. I think the goal, while it was a mistake by the letter of the game, Barcelona forced us into mistake with the aggressive press, and I think that was the switch around from the first and the second half. How many times do we talk about the momentum swings in these games? You know, how they are often like basketball games, going from one end to the other. I think Chelsea, wholly dominated the first half, frustrated Barcelona, and then, whatever they said in that team talk must have been summarised as what they've been doing to you, go out and do to them, because Barcelona did that in the second half, 60 minutes in, forced the mistake, punished instantly as we were caught by the press. It was a love. I just want to give a shout out. I'm not sure what the player's name was that provided the assist for the goal for Barcelona, but the little flick with the outside of his boot to just square it into the middle perfectly for the guy to just header into a virtually empty net. Sublime, absolutely sublime. And I think the quality of football, I think anyone that watches this channel, that follows the academy, doesn't need to be told how good some of these players are. Technical ability for the majority of these Chelsea youngsters is through the roof. But to have them and to see them playing today against a Barcelona side which was very much their peers, very much their equals, the way in which they play football, very methodical, very... You can see you can almost see the tactics. You can see the coach's work, what's gone into it, the way in which they want to play. They stick to a specific structure, they stick to a specific method, and they don't deviate from that. They try and play out from the back, they try and dominate possession, they try and press aggressively. And I feel like today, it was a fairly even match. I'd say if I had to say one team deserved it, I think Chelsea deserved it. Out of the two teams over the course of 90 minutes, I think Chelsea more deserved the 3 points, more deserved to win that game. However, I don't think a draw is unfair. I think both teams played very, very well, gave very good accounts for themselves, and it was a very entertaining 90 minutes. There are very few times where the academy is very entertaining to watch, but in terms of being entertaining and high quality, consistently high quality, the football, the positioning, the discipline, that's something that, on the ball, you can expect 9 times out of 10 from a Chelsea side. But off the ball, that's when they may struggle. When we've seen the under-21s playing the Virtu Trophy against a bit more of a physical team or a men's team, that's where the academy, the youngsters kind of struggle to deviate from what they've been told. But today was very much a game of pure football. Really, really enjoyable to watch from the neutral perspective. Obviously a shame that Chelsea didn't and weren't able to go and turn it around and essentially, capitalise on the dominance in the first half and then capitalise on late dominance as well. Chelsea could smell a winner, but it didn't quite come off. However, we're not going to sit here and complain because Chelsea are still unbeaten in the UEFA Youth League, and not many other teams can say that. I don't believe Barcelona are unbeaten. I think Club Bruges beat them previously, so very few teams in the UEFA Youth League unbeaten. Chelsea, very much one of them. 5 games, no losses Ibrahim Rabbaj, first goal today. Excellent performances from Genesis Antwi and Jesse Derry. Man of the match for Jesse Derry. Let me know your thoughts. If you watched, who were you impressed with? Did I call it correctly? Was Jesse Derry the standout man of the match? Would you choose a different man of the match? Who impressed you most today? Of course, we do have a big evening ahead of us. I'm going to try and turn this out and get this out immediately so that we can focus on the big one tonight, 8 p.m, Chelsea versus Barcelona. You're going to get some sort of stream from me, some set of content from me. So make sure, if you're not already, to subscribe to the Two Blues podcast. Turn your notifications on for all the latest streams as well. Blueprint coming later this week. Follow at Two Blues podcast on the Instagram to stay up to date with all the latest details. Until next time, up the Chelsea.